because you were there, what was the reception like when he came on, obviously?
Strange. Very, very strange. I mean, I've never been... I was always just wait and see. If he was going to go, I was just going to wait and see. I don't want to disrespect him because obviously what he's done for us. What was it? I actually didn't even realise he was coming on because the Wolves fans were like, because they were all over us. The Wolves fans were just singing, and I was right in that corner, right next to them. So it was just so loud. And then matey boy holds the board up and was like replacing Sonny, and Harry Kane come on. And obviously, to our right, there was some chant that involved a lot of swearing about Harry Kane and how he's going to be leaving. I'm sure you've seen it. So it was very mixed. It was one of them where I kind of wanted it to happen. I would have loved him because he had a chance. He had a massive chance, really. I haven't actually watched it or seen that highlight back to see like how clear of a chance it was, but it looked like he should have been putting it away. I thought it was a decent reception from most of us. There's obviously going to be the ones that are going to be like, no, he's done now. Don't want to see him in a Spurs shirt. But are you telling me you'd rather someone with a 30-goal a season player sitting on the bench? If he's going to give his all, obviously, you don't want someone that's going to slouch around and what. But in my head, I'm thinking, who's to say? I mean, this isn't FIFA, but let's say he goes and smashes it until January. Who's to say City can't go and spend money in January on him? So if he knuckles down, he might get what he wants. And then if he's knuckling down and giving Spurs his all when he's back in the lineup, then what's for anyone to argue with it? Do you know what I mean? If someone's given their all, you can't really. You've got to be like, come and get me. You know what I mean? This is what I can do. I smash it for Spurs, and then come and get me. But
that's the thing. I think at the moment everybody's got a very sour taste in their mouth. If he comes out, starts banging those goals in, I think a lot of Spurs fans have a very short-term memory, shall we say. And we'll all be singing his name. There's no doubt about it, what he's done for the club and this, that, and the other. But David, do you think it is a crossroads for Kane at the moment? Do you think it is time for him to now to be like, look, you've got to forget City right now and put your all into it?
Yeah, look, I always thought he was going to stay anyway. I never thought City were ever going to stump up the money, to be honest with you. Look, I've been a big advocate of Kane. Even back at the end of last season, I used to tweet him some songs to listen to. Hopefully he'd get the message through the song, about staying with us and stuff like that. Look, I want to say, first of all, how dare Wolves fans disrespect Harry Kane. He's worth more than what their club is worth. So, just pipe down a little. But for me, with Harry Kane, I always thought he was going to give it his all if he was made to stay. I'll be honest with you, and the reason why I always thought that is because there's a World Cup right around the corner. He's going to want to lead England out in the World Cup and captain them and win the World Cup. So he's going to want to play and want to be on form going into that World Cup. But then as well, like, you look at yesterday. Now, a player that wants out, there was one stage he pressed 3 players on the trot and one us to throw in. Now, a player that wants out, he's not going to do that needless running, is he? Especially with someone with ankles like Harry Kane. Because, you're not going to risk an injury. So for me, I was at the point where I never actually, even when this whole came out, I never ever questioned his loyalty to the club or his love for the club, ever. In fact, I've been his biggest backer because at the end of the day, obviously a little something went on there, but we've only ever heard Harry Kane's side of the story. We haven't heard anything from the club, no official statement or anything else. And for me, like, I know some fans were unhappy, with the statement. But at the end of the day, they were calling for a statement. They got a statement, and then it was, the time in the statement. He didn't say this in the statement. It was like, well, sorry. What did you want to write the statement? When did you want the statement out? Harry Kane doesn't do things on your time. He does things on his time. The guy's on holiday. You know what I mean? But look, for me, it was never in question that he loves. Of course, he loves the club. Of course, he loves the club. At the end of the day, this guy went out on, I think, 9 or 12 different loan spells. You know what I mean? Stayed back every training session when he got back to Tottenham, putting in the work, got his chance and grabbed it with both hands. He loves the fans. The fans are endeared to him, and he's endeared to the fans as well. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes in a player's career, no matter how much he loves the club, he's always said, if Tottenham aren't progressing in the right way, he has to go. Now, if you're Harry Kane and you're banging in the goals you are week in, week out, he had his best season ever in his Spurs jersey last season, goals and assists, top creator, top goals. And you're looking back and you're seeing Moon Boots concede, making the mistakes he's making. You're seeing GPS Sanchez, doesn't even know where the ball is every time it comes in over his head. You don't know whether Bobo the Clown or Mr. Hollywood, Matt Doherty, is going to be at right back. Ben Davies at left back getting roasted week in, week out, never learning his lesson. Musa Sissoko standing there in the middle like he's just a brick wall. You know what I mean? Does that inspire your confidence? Do you look around and say, yeah, Tottenham's going in the right way. I'm going to stay here and we can win something? Especially after you've gone through Pochettino and Jose Mourinho. You're never, ever, ever. You're obviously going to question where this club is going at that point. Us fans question the club where it was going. Why can't Harry Kane? He plays for the club. He has a career to look after.
Yeah.
Very, very true. I don't think I can even add anything to that.
I don't think anyone can argue with that, to be fair. You're exactly right. It's just like, it's knowing you're the best in the team as well, but being too humble to even come out and say, look, he's never going to come out and say, because that's not Harry Kane. He's going to wait. And obviously all of this rubbish we've seen, it's all PR stunts. And then people try and put 2 and 2 together, saying, oh, he's not sitting next to his mate on the coach and all this rubbish. I don't know. Yeah, you're exactly right. You hit the nail on the head there.
Another thing, people made a massive thing about Twitter after City. Oh, he didn't congratulate the team. Well, if he wasn't in the matchday squad, he's clearly been told, stay off all social medias. We don't want anything, the Harry Kane situation affecting what's going on in the game. We want it to be Tottenham versus City, not the Harry Kane derby. You know what I mean? So he's obviously told to be banned, but then people are coming out again, oh, he doesn't love the club. He didn't congratulate the teammates. Absolute codswallop, a load of horse crap. He was put on a social media ban. It was clear to see.
100%, and it is really irritating me that certain media platforms, well, on Twitter especially, are posting things like that. Come on, maybe the man just wants to sit by himself after the game, just because he's not playing Uno with the likes of Sergio Aurier on the bus. You know what I mean? It is very strange. And for the Kane, obviously, when it all came out and he wasn't at training the first day, I was kind of like, well, I don't blame him, because if I had enough, I would have probably not gone to train either. And then the thing with me that just still doesn't sit right, but I don't know who's who at the moment. You don't know whether it's Tottenham or whether it's Kane feeling what he feels. The fact that he didn't put out a post when it was all kicked off, that's the thing that kind of doesn't sit right with me, because if someone's slagging me off, I'd want to say something about it. That's just the thing. But then you've got to think he's professional, he's under contract, he's got his agent. He doesn't have his agent anymore, shall we say that at all. But I don't know. It's all very strange. But like you said, David,
I just wish the club came out a lot earlier and just shut it down, because they got to say things obviously they want fans to hear. So just come out and say, even if you're just chatting shit, come out and say something that's just going to keep everything low for a little while. Don't have all this anger build up, and suddenly the City game comes along, everyone's like, oh my God, where's Harry Kane, sort of thing. Just have something where the fans know what's going on. And I feel like this happens every year, whether it's not with Kane, it's with transfers and whatnot. No one ever actually knows what's going on behind the scenes. And that's why the Amazon documentary was such a mind blow to realise what actually goes on behind the scenes, because you just don't really see any of this happening at Tottenham. And it's just, whether that's Daniel Levy's approach with the club and just doesn't want news getting out, or he probably wants bloody money for it. Every time there's a Sun post, he probably wants 5 or 10 mil to pay the squad's wages. I don't know how it all works, but it's so frustrating. This is the biggest striker in English football at the moment, and no one knows what he's doing, where he's staying, where he's going. He's got a World Cup next year, obviously, with that. He needs to just... they're going to break... You'd end up breaking rules if you were a player yourself, because you'd want to just say how it is. There's some players, obviously, you see them tweet things a night before. They've obviously got a bit merry after a game, and then they've tweeted something, and the post's removed the next day. These things happen. You never see it with Kane. He's always professional. It would just be nice. Just do it, Kane. Just tell the fans, be a people pleaser, and just come out and say exactly what's going on, and then everyone knows.
I know, and I think that's a frustrating thing, because all these transfers that happen, this Kane saga, everything, we as fans are always the ones that have to put up with all the stress. 100%. You just want someone to come out, tell us straight, done, over, we can move on. But again, we're still sat here not knowing whether he's still going to stay, whether he's going to go, what's going on still. But anyway, enough of the Kane saga.